So it feels so weird not holding a wine glass.
Yeah.
It's usually, you do know our reputation.
Right.
We have a reputation, we drink a lot,
yeah.
we are drunks.
I can see.
Yes.
I love
It was
that.
actually the first thing we bought. We went to, Candice and I started this company, we registered the name. And then the first thing we bought was actually the piano.
Okay.
We bought the piano and we bought the cooler, wine cooler.
First thing.
And when the father of my son, came to our school and he was like, where's the library? I was like, no, we need a library.
Yes.
He said, you're a school. So we got the library, which is hidden.
It's hidden
Somewhere
in the
private room. Nobody
We'll talk about that later. Okay, today I'm here with one of the best and definitely the most famous IELTS teacher in Taiwan. And I'm just going to read your intro on Instagram because I absolutely love it. She teaches more than just British English. She teaches an attitude. She's lived in the UK. You're a mother, a best-selling author of 3 books, the co-founder of 里兹螞蚁. And you said looks crazy but loves drinking but is extremely professional.
Right.
That's her words, not mine. Introducing IELTS Maylin.
Hi guys, my name's May.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi James.
Yeah, it's great to finally put this together.
Yes, welcome to my school.
Yes.
Yeah, just focus on us, not the wines, the whiskey.
Not the wine, not the
not
llama.
the piano, not the...
Yes.
Yes, just us.
I actually came 1 month early last time.
Right.
Yeah.
We were at a company gathering.
Right.
And he called and he said, I'm outside your school. So he joined us by accident.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the hospitality.
No problem.
That was amazing.
There was a lot of food.
Yeah. And the fish was incredible.
I know, it was, I think cost us a fortune.
Yeah.
An arm and a leg.
An arm and a leg, yeah. It was very expensive, the fish.
It was. Wow, it's nice to know, like some 20 years something, people would have the same age of mind.
I'm losing my mind, yeah. Like, even though we were going to meet a month early, it's not the first time I've done that. It keeps happening to me.
It's a new generation. British people are known to be very precise about things.
Right. Yeah,
Let's hang out next Tuesday at 8 p.m.
Yes, yeah.
Like, who says that?
Yeah, so precise.
I'm just going to pencil in. Pencil in what?
Pencil in, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to pencil in my schedule.
Good. Yeah.
So whenever you say to a British person, let's just hang out sometime, they'll be like, when?
Yeah. Do you find that that's annoying?
No, well, at the beginning, I would think it would be weird. A bit sick, 有点变态, perverted.
Okay.
But then after a while, I realized that when people mean to meet you, it's something they should do instead of saying, oh, let's just hang out for
talk
800
closer to the
years.
time.
Right, 800 years, 800 times, and then you never meet that person.
Oh, yeah.
And because of that, when I came back to Taiwan, I think the same week, I ran into a school friend in Geelong, where I was born.
Okay. Oh,
and
wow.
when she said, hey, 我们吃饭, 有时候可以吃饭的时候,
Oh, I hate that.
I realized that, she didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Because she didn't determine the time and the day.
Yeah.
So my experience in the UK actually taught me to keep my words.
Right. That's how you know your British friend really likes you.
Right. They wouldn't be like, oh, let's just hang out.
改天约吧.
改天约出来吃饭.
Yeah. Speak closer to the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And they would do the follow-up.
Yes, follow up. Right. That's a good sign.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about dating culture maybe at the end.
Yeah,
But,
I'm still single. I have plenty of experience.
I can't believe you're single.
I have a son. I'm single. Yeah, I choose to be single.
Yes, right. I see. Yeah, it can be.
Do you have a lot of female audience?
I do. Yeah, I looked at the analytics. It's 55%.
Oh,
55.
So maybe I can talk to your female audience about.
My girlfriend knows you. My Chinese teacher knows you. She's a big fan.
And his girlfriend was taught by my ex.
Yeah, right.
An IELTS examiner.
Right, so Hi, girlfriend.
Hi,
Chinese
ex.
teacher. Yeah. Hi, ex. Yeah. Hi, ex. Yeah. We won't say any names.
Right.
Yeah. But first of all, I wanted to ask, why did you go to the UK and not like the typical USA?
Very easy, because I was very into Britpop in my early 20s.
Oh, cool.
Which you weren't born yet.
Yeah. I was thinking like any bands.
1999. I was very into Oasis.
Oh yeah.
The Verve, Radiohead, all the British bands. I loved them very much. And then after watching Trainspotting,
classic.
I became obsessed with dance music. I immediately wanted to fly to Scotland to enjoy the lifestyle. I'm joking. Not like doing drugs and everything, no.
Sorry, the drink went down the wrong way.
It's not.
It went down the wrong way. Not because of the music taste or Trainspotting.
Or Trainspotting or the toilets in Glasgow.
Oh, right.
No, and I became very obsessed with DJ gigs.
Cool.
And at the time, a lot of British DJs would come to Taiwan, like
Oh my
Paul
God.
Oakenfold, DJ Sasha and John Digweed,
Okay.
Adam Freeland. These names you wouldn't know.
Yeah. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they came to Taiwan and I would go to their gigs.
Wow.
So when I thought about studying abroad, of course, Britain was my top choice.
I like how you chose it because of the culture, not because of the universities.
Right.
That's
The
cool,
university was actually my least
Right.
concerned.
I like that.
Because I understood my situation. I didn't go to university in Taiwan.
Okay.
So I would not have been accepted by top universities. So
Right.
I applied to about 8 schools, universities, and then I was turned down by Birmingham
Birmingham?
right away.
Okay,
And then
that's a good
Manchester,
Oh, Manchester.
they turned me down
Okay.
simply because I didn't have a university degree, which I understood. I didn't take it personally. But then I got offers from Lancaster,
Okay, nice.
Brighton,
Okay. Exeter, right.
and Leeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, Leeds sounds cool. One
Amazing
syllable.
Amazing choice. One syllable.
One
yeah.
syllable.
Leeds. Easy
I went to
pronounce.
Leeds.
Yeah. Apparently Leeds is a great place to study.
And I was thinking about the cost as well.
Right.
The north of England would definitely be cheaper.
It's much better, yeah, compared to London.
And then when I went, I was very happy because they have this accent I loved.
Oh, I don't
Leeds-
know the Leeds accent.
Yorkshire accent.
I was like, oh, okay, I know the Yorkshire accent.
It's important if you do that.
important.
It's important.
Yeah.
They always go up.
Yeah. Upwards tone.
Yeah, but the first week when I went to Leeds, I actually thought I was in Germany.
Oh, because of that accent.
The accent sounds so German. Because I had been to Germany before.
Okay.
And the British people I met in the market or at school all had a German accent, I thought, back then.
Okay.
So it took me at least 3 weeks to start to understand, to understand what they're saying.
So do you feel it's like completely different to what you learned in Taiwan?
Oh, totally. But I have a very different educational experience because I went to a vocational school,
Oh, okay.
which nobody cared about your academic performance.
Yes.
So my English was really bad. I never,
Okay. Oh, that's amazing. So you've gone from that to now.
That was actually my advantage because I was never contaminated.
Oh, nice. I see what you mean.
I never had an accent.
Yeah, you didn't have to unlearn.
That's the most important thing when it comes to learning a language. If you have a lot of bad habits, including like 随便的 pronunciation,
Okay, like
and really bad grammar, and really bad chunks,
right.
you have to unlearn.
Yeah.
For example, when people say they have a typhoon tomorrow, they have a
There have it right.
they
right,
always say they have a person there. It would take them more time to unlearn the phrase than a
Right.
person who learns this the first time.
When I first came to Taiwan, when I first came to Taipei, I used to say, 可以我去厕所吗? Like, can I go, like Chinese English, right?
Yes.
And then I noticed people go, and I was like, what?
Would they correct you?
Eventually, I realized something was going on. I was like, oh, it's 我可以 什么？
Yeah, I used to live with Japanese people for 3 years. And these Japanese people all studied, of course, Chinese. But then I realized that when you have a Chinese roommate or girlfriend, they will never correct you.
Yeah, right.
Because it's rude. And
rude.
in the end, it's just your days, your life goes on, right? You can't always focus on correcting people.
Yes.
So whenever she says, 今天可以见面你吗?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 今天可以见面你吗? She always says that to me.
Okay, right.
Her text message will always be, 今天可以见面你吗? And I never corrected her until one day we went out and a Taiwanese person said to her, 你的中文很烂.
Oh, that's too.
And she was very hurt. She was like, you never told me my Chinese is bad.
Right.
I said, because I understood you. Why should I correct your Chinese? Right. And she was actually said, I wish you had told me.
Right.
So it became a battle. I never know when to correct you, for example, or you never know when to correct me. When would be a good time to stop me?
Right.
And tell me there was a mistake in your sentence?
Good point. I realized since becoming a tutor, like especially one-to-one, that was always quite hard to interrupt the student. But then I realized it's kind of obvious that they want that. That's what they're paying for. Like, please interrupt me.
Yes, and that's what we are famous for.
Right.
They're not to it's 广告时间. Yeah,
Yes.
it's just I think people came to us to seek help.
Yeah.
And you have to tell them their problem.
Don't be nice.
Don't
Be not.
I'm very
within
direct.
reason.
I would say
Direct.
I'm very direct.
Yes, good point.
I would tell people like you will never get a 7. I'm so sorry. Because first of all, your level is not there. And secondly, you just don't have time to study.
Right. In IELTS, right?
In IELTS. And then the mistakes you made, I made a list last time. And today when you were, repeating yourself, all the mistakes are still there.
Right.
So sometimes I would tell them, if you want to see any improvement, you have to spend time.
Yes.
Make sentences. There is a guy, there's a typhoon, there's a TV program, there is a show. If you never spend time doing that, how can you expect to say there is instead of there have the next time you speak the sentence?
Yes. It takes time. It does take time.
Yeah.
And
when you learn Chinese, do you do the same? Do you do that? There will be a sentence you probably say it wrong, and then somebody told you. How many times would you go back to the sentence
to the
correct
original
yourself?
My method of learning Chinese is a bit lazy. Like
you can get away.
我住台湾快10年了，我觉得我中文还不够好。所以和了朋友可能对我太好了。
对。
所以没有跟我特别讲我错。But my Chinese teacher has helped me a lot.
You need a teacher.
You need a teacher. And you were just mentioning the IELTS. I think you have a course.
Yes.
Coming out, right?
We have an online course. It's called 雅思句型王. Yeah, 雅思句型王. And it's for people who don't have much time. And we just compiled all the sentences you need to write in the IELTS writing test. So like for task 1, to describe a graph, a diagram, how to write a letter in the GT, general training session, to task 2, you have to write a 250 words essay. We provide 22 sentences for each task. So in total, there will be 66 sentences for people to learn in the writing test.
Okay, right. Right.
If you're preparing for the IELTS test, just remember you only have to write 15 sentences in an essay. Then you can get a band 7.
Okay, great. The link is in the description below. Okay, you can check that out. What was the name again?
雅思句型王.
It's coming out soon.
It's coming out soon.
Probably when this video comes out. Probably
Maybe
at the same time.
mid-April or
mid-April.
At the end of this month. April.
It'll probably be the next day after you're watching this.
Yes.
Some of my students asked me to ask you, is British food really that bad? Like, is it actually
This is the first time I'm hearing these questions, okay? I'm probably not the best person to ask because I'm not fussy at all.
Oh, okay.
In Chinese, we say 我很好养.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, 我很好养.
很好养.
Just give me
like
food.
raise?
Yeah, I'm easy to raise.
Easy to raise.
Just
okay.
like a dog. Just give me dog food. I'm
很好
fine.
养. 很好养. I always thought it was 选择障碍, but I know that's a bit wrong, right?
It's called decision fatigue.
Yeah, right.
选择障碍的人 is very fussy. I'm not sure about Korean. Maybe Japanese. Maybe Vietnamese.
Right.
No, I'm very easygoing when it comes to food. Whenever they say, "Oh, let's celebrate someone's birthday," I'm just like, I'll go wherever you want.
Wherever.
But the secret is actually I never really had British food when I was in the UK.
Right.
I would go to different places, but British restaurants.
Yeah. But what about like the Wetherspoons?
Like the Wetherspoons.
That's classic.
Oh my God, the name. Yeah, Wetherspoon is
I love that. Yeah.
It's a chain.
It's a chain.
Chain pub,
Chain
restaurant.
pub. Yeah. If you want to sponsor this video.
Yeah, please do. That Wetherspoon in Leeds is actually the only place I would go for Sunday roast.
Oh my God, it's the best.
I think they have a student night. You have a card, right? A yellow card or something?
Oh, we didn't have a student night at Wetherspoons in Liverpool.
In Liverpool, yeah, we did. So we would go and we show a card to the bartender and we get a beer for £1.
Oh my God.
£1.
That's a good deal. That is a good
20 years ago.
£1. Wow.
For 1 pint. But back then I was lightweight.
Okay.
So I would have a half pint.
What is lightweight in Chinese?
酒量很差。
酒量很差，酒量 right.
酒量非常的差，所以我喝
lightweight
半杯。
And then you would be smashed.
I would be smashed.
Or people
wasted.
Wasted or fucked.
Yeah.
I would be fucked. Yeah, me too. My 酒量
You're lightweight too?
Yeah. But I don't really drink too much. But
so you're not so British.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
In that regard, yeah. But I'm a massive tea fan.
But okay, I have a question for you. So your university life, what were you doing?
At university, I would get smashed.
Oh.
I think like since then, I've calmed down a bit.
Oh yeah, it's
a
like
lot.
Peer pressure.
It's peer pressure, yeah.
And the worry to be missing out.
Right. That's one thing I don't like about the UK. For me, like the drinking, peer pressure.
Peer pressure, and there's really not much to do anyway. You don't have karaoke.
Yeah.
You don't have shopping malls that open until 10 p.m.
Yeah. Closes at 4 p.m. on a Sunday.
That's one thing I really
don't miss
about the UK.
Yeah.
Because as a Taiwanese person, I would expect to go shopping, to do my shopping. do the shopping 是买菜 not grocery shopping. They don't have grocery shopping in the UK.
No, right.
I would expect to go to do my food shopping after school to realize, shit,
Bam.
It's closed. Every week it's like that. I would go like Morrison's and then, it's closed. Okay, let's go to Sainsbury. It's closed. Let's go to Marks and Spencer. It's closed.
Yeah.
Department stores would open until 6, 7
a bit later.
p.m.
Yeah,
but generally speaking, if you don't get your food before 4 p.m., you're going to go
crazy,
hungry.
Yeah, I don't like that. I hope they change that.
But British people and Americans, I'm talking about like normal people, usually cook.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Normal people.
Yeah, so even if you open a restaurant, you might not get much business.
Yeah, right. People cook.
It's a culture.
The groceries are really are quite cheap. Like if you get like the raw goods, like the vegetables, I feel it's as cheap as Taiwan. Almost.
Yeah, but because I went in 2003 and 4, maybe times have changed. They've got Lidl.
Aldi.
Asda, Aldi.
Right.
They've got a lot of new British supermarkets in different hierarchy, like Whole Food, Marks and Spencer. If you have watched the video from Joe and Leah, they talked about supermarket hierarchy from very peasant.
What's the peasant one? Audi.
Audi. Yeah.
What's the...
The top, Whole Food.
Oh, right. Okay, good decision.
And Marks and Spencer.
Yeah, that's the goat.
Yeah, I will always
The
go
goat.
around 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
the discounted
The discount,
food.
those yellow labels.
Labels like sushi, a whole set of sushi would be like £2-3.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they would normally be £8.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And when I went, the exchange rate was 50 or 55.
That's insane. I can't believe that.
Yeah, so a box of sushi would be 500块, 600块.
Amazing.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah. Shout out Marks and Spencer's. That's my favorite. Yeah.
We used to have a Marks and Spencer in Taiwan.
Yeah, I heard
for
that.
a very short time.
It was in
忠孝动画.
Someone commented that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then people would call it 马克百货公司.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, one time a student asked me, "Do you go to 马克百货公司?" I was like, "What is Mark 百货公司?" And then they're like, "I thought you went to the UK." And I said, "I did, but we don't have a Mark."
Mark
Oh, you
company.
mean?
That's funny.
And then I realized it's Marks and Spencer's.
Oh, that's funny.
A lot of names in English would be like that. For example, like a student of mine would be saying, "I'll see you tomorrow at Seattle Coffee."
Oh, okay.
And I would be like, Seattle Coffee. Oh, you mean barista?
Right.
They would be, no, Seattle Coffee.
Washington.
Washington? No.
Washington or something.
Seattle Coffee in Chinese is 西雅图咖啡.
Seattle.
西雅图咖啡店, but in English it's barista.
Oh, it's annoying.
它不是西雅图咖啡. So if you say 西雅图咖啡 to an English-speaking person, you guys will never meet.
Yeah, no way.
You guys will never meet up.
Sometimes if I'm trying to guess a country's name in Chinese, I will do that. And sometimes I get it right. Like Afghanistan.
Oh.
Afghan?
他刚刚说脏话.
Oh, sorry.
Afghanistan.
I got it wrong.
Afghan.
Okay.
I have one for you. You will never guess it.
Okay.
白俄羅斯.
Oh, I got that. Yeah, Belarus. Oh, okay. I got it wrong. Belarus. I know that because I have a student there. Yeah.
Yeah, I went on a date with a guy from Belarus.
Are they very serious?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a PhD student in Taiwan, and then
Wow.
When he talked about his country, I think he actually shed a few tears.
Wow.
I was very sorry for him.
Okay.
But I was also sorry for myself because our situation is not better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would be quite embarrassed if it was like a first date and they were crying.
Right. I was yeah, I didn't know what to do. I didn't expect to see a guy cry.
Right. He's
In front of me on the first date.
On the first, that's crazy.
Yeah, but he did mention, because I was like, you are the first person from Belarus I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
so tell me
cool.
about your life. And he did. It was pathetic. It was so sad.
Right. Yeah, I can imagine.
It was way before Russia invaded Ukraine.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can't imagine.
Yeah. On a lighter topic.
Yes.
If you've been on a date with British guys, do you feel there's a bit of a culture shock? Like someone asked me, they said, if a British guy hugs you on a date, does that mean they like you, or are they just friends?
Good question. My experience with British guys, I've dated maybe 5 British guys. On the first date, yes, we were quite distant.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I would not, because my culture, I would not hug a person anyway.
Yeah.
But,
people do that as friends. So.
Yeah, but British girls, my female friends, we will hug each other. And some of my British girl friends, we even do like, yeah, we kiss each other, like air kiss.
Right.
But British guys, I think I'm very lucky, I have to say this. I'm very picky when it comes to dating. So I think because my vibe kind of glows.
Yes.
I only attract like good quality men.
Good.
So I'm very lucky. I've never been treated badly.
Yeah.
I've never had a bad experience on the date.
Okay.
I think it's because when I'm still in the stage of texting, messaging, I kind of assess the person.
Right.
And when we eventually meet, they will usually be very, very sure that I'm a quality woman.
Okay.
And they should not try to piss me off.
Right. Your personality is a good filter.
Yeah.
It filters out.
And they will always pay. See, again, this is another myth. Like Western people always go Dutch.
Yeah, that is a myth.
I've never had to pay in my life. Not because I asked them to. They just, I usually go to a pub with a guy, or we just have a coffee. Come on, £2.
Yeah, right.
So when it comes to paying, before even I pretend or whatever to grab my purse, the guy is already like paying.
Yeah.
And the first few times I would ask them like, so how much was that? And they would go like,
guys appreciate that.
Yeah, and they would always go, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
no worries.
So I feel like that's more normal in the UK, like coffee or drink dates instead of like dinner.
Dinner is unbearable if you don't like me or if I don't like you. We have to wait until dessert is served.
Yeah, right. And it's a bit too complicated splitting the bill for dinner.
Exactly. Do I wire you the money? And you don't do math. Okay, because British people don't know mathematics very well.
Yeah, right.
I'm Asian, so I do the math.
Sometimes I get surprised my girlfriends when she does math. I'm like,
no, we are very good.
Yeah.
We go to a restaurant, 1,800. Okay, it's 600 each.
Yeah, right.
And you guys will be like, what?
Oh my God.
How do you know? It's basic arithmetic.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, the stereotype is true. When I was on my first date, like British guys like to joke a lot, especially sarcasm. I hope my girlfriend doesn't kill me for telling you this story. But so we went for dinner and she forgot her wallet or she forgot her money. So I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll be your sugar daddy tonight. As a joke, like just sarcastic. And she got quite offended by that. She was like, no, let's find an ATM. I'm going to pay you half. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go. But I was quite shocked that she insisted on going Dutch. I think maybe because she thought British guys like to go Dutch.
I think it was because you said that. Yeah, I think if I were her, I would probably be a little bit surprised that you would say that. Because sugar daddy is not a very good term, especially if your girlfriend is like me, a quality woman.
Right. Good point.
I would probably think, who the
yes, right, a bit over the top.
Yeah, if I were her, I would probably say, yeah, let me just wire you the money.
Yes, yeah. Luckily, she forgave me.
Yeah, but because like the whole date, probably lasts an hour or two.
Yeah, right.
So it would be one sentence, that would be fine. Yeah, but if you were nice, you could be forgiven.
Yeah, luckily I was forgiven. But yeah, we do like that kind of. I think if there's an awkward situation, British people like to do jokes to kind of like hide the embarrassment.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's inappropriate.
Yeah, but I also have a story for you. On the second date of me and a British guy, we went to a restaurant, and he commented on my bag. I had
your bag?
Yeah, my handbag. It was very red. In my opinion, the perfect red color, and he noticed it because his car is also red. Okay. So he was like, I hope you don't mind if I take a look at your bag. Okay. So he looked at my bag and he was like, do you mind me asking like how much it is? Oh, then he explained himself like, I don't normally ask about the price, but I just want to know how much would the bag cost. Okay. I found it's a very difficult question to answer.
Yeah, right.
Because it is a very expensive bag.
Right.
And I was like debating if I should tell him the real price. So I just said it's quite expensive. I saved up for the bag. And then he was like, So how much?
Oh no, that's crazy.
So I told him the price, and he was shocked. He was literally shocked. And he said, I don't understand why people, especially women, would spend so much money on the bag. It's false gold.
It's so unnecessary.
He said it's false gold.
Oh my God.
Am I a fool?
False gold.
False
False
gold.
gold.
I got quite offended
that's
right away. And then
so
I thought
unnecessary.
I was going to leave.
Right.
I was going to leave. So I asked, do you mind if I ask you how much your car cost? And he, of course, he told me about it. And he immediately, he's a smart person, he realized. He immediately said, I'm sorry.
That's good.
And he said sorry. He apologized many times. He was like, and I was like, my bag will cost more than your car right now.
Right.
And I was like, your car was how much? It's a second-hand car, right?
Nice.
I wasn't nice.
Yeah, false gold, his car.
Yeah. So I said, the moment you bought your car, it started, depreciating.
Right.
The moment I bought my bag, it starts appreciating.
Right.
And he said, he apologized, and he said he never knew. Like a bag could be an investment.
Yeah. He's crazy for us persisting and asking the price
I
and
think
then saying false gold.
I think he's been in Taiwan for too long.
I think, yeah.
Because that's what we do.
Right.
If I would go to his place, I would be, hey, James, how much do you pay the rent?
Yeah.
You guys will never say that.
No, yeah, or salary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But luckily people don't ask me that too much here. But when I was in Chongqing, they would always ask.
I think Taiwanese people, I think we're learning to be international.
Yeah, definitely.
We have more foreigners here.
Yes. You said some people will comment, they will say, why do British people deliberately speak like quite lazy? And they say, people comment, why should we learn to talk like that? Do you have any thoughts about that? When people say like...
I think, again, when it comes to British English, people have a lot of misunderstanding. They think British people either talk like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Or like Jason Statham.
Okay, I'm glad if they know that one.
They would not say Jason Statham, they would say Fast and Furious.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so...
I'm surprised they know that, to be honest.
Or Adele.
Yeah.
Because Adele is famous for her Cockney
her accent is crazy.
And some people would look at their videos and leave very bad comments, like, who would want to talk like that?
Yeah.
Like, some people probably had bad experience in the UK.
Yes.
And they're like, you talk like shit, and then you're so arrogant, and you're full of yourself. I think, unfortunately, it reflects their own experience, in my opinion.
Right. That makes sense.
So I think it's our responsibility to educate people here that how many kinds of accents in the UK?
Oh my God. I would say each city, yeah.
Hundreds, right?
Each city. It's crazy. Like Liverpool to Manchester is
Exactly.
different accent.
Leeds and Sheffield.
Different accent.
Different accents. Yeah. And London. In London, you have different...
London has 3 accents.
Yeah, and also people from different classes.
Yeah, right.
If you talk to a taxi driver and you talk to a shop owner, if they're like the Indian descendant for like how many generations, they have a Jamaican accent.
Yes, yeah, right.
Yeah, so there are many kinds of accents in the UK, and we should focus on the major ones.
Yes.
The ones that to make you understood.
Right.
More easily.
Right. That's why we have RP.
Yeah. And people always ask me, like, do I have to mimic the Queen or Boris Johnson? No. No, you should not mimic the accent of the royal family.
One is hot. I'm hot.
Yes.
One is hot.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Happy.
The Queen says happy.
Happy.
Yeah, she pronounced the Y
short.
Yeah. Why?
Happy. I can't even do it.
Because happy should be long vowel.
Yeah, right.
Are you happy? But the Queen would say happy.
Happy. Yeah, it's quite strange.
There are many features of the Queen's English.
Right.
We actually studied it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I was in Leeds, in one of our programs.
Cool.
We evaluated the accents of the royal family.
Wow.
We watched the videos of the Queen when she was 18, when she did her first TV broadcasting.
Wow.
She
so
was
almost
very
100 years ago.
Right. She was very different. She was very RP.
Okay.
But then as the years go on, she would lose certain
interesting.
Yeah, certain features, and she became more estuary.
Wow. Okay. I've rarely heard her speak. Only at Christmas.
Yeah, just
I've heard her speak.
Yeah, many British people would, because you were born in that culture, you wouldn't normally pay that much attention to your Queen's accent.
Right.
It was only foreigners who would actually do that.
Yeah, it's like especially focused.
Yeah, we studied the accent. And then by the time 2003 and 4, the young British royal family, like the Queen,
like William, Harry.
The William and Harry,
Yeah.
and who is the king now?
Charles.
Their accents have become more down to earth.
Yeah, right.
Even Harry has sometimes dropped the T, right? Does he do that?
Yeah, I think he's kind of faking it.
Because from his background, he should not be dropping the T.
No way.
Yeah, the dropping the T thing is the glottal stop. You should ask him. He's the expert.
Stop. Oh, yeah. I guess I naturally do it. Yeah, like I say little all of the time. Little instead of little.
Do you say a bottle of water?
Well, because so many people laugh, I get self-conscious. But yeah, I would say that. Yeah, bottle of water.
Back home, if you talk to your mates,
definitely.
You would definitely say, let's go get
water. Or she is pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty.
When I was in Leeds, I was exposed to all the glottal stop.
Oh yeah, they do out there. Right.
There was a zebra crossing outside my accommodation, and people will always go, "Could you press the button?"
A button? Okay.
Could you just press a button? I'm always like, what? A button?
What is that?
And you have to be there, hearing that accent for 100 times to pick up the accent, so I could actually set the button.
Nice.
And then I would go to school, and then there were 2 British people in my class, and one of them was actually trying to ask me out.
Okay.
And he was very Yorkshire.
Okay.
He would always say, it's important. It's important for people to actually, it's better if you could do that. I'm going to the city centre. He would say a lot of T words without the T.
Right. That's quite special.
But then I would go to London to visit a friend of mine who married a posh person.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
Her husband eventually had a talk with me. Yeah.
Please stop.
When she was away one night, he actually said, "Can we have a chat?" We did a proper chat. He gave me a lecture on the tea making because I was staying with them for 2 weeks, and he was like, "Make yourself home." But when I actually did make myself home, he saw the way I make tea.
Oh! I have a question about this.
He was like shocked.
Right.
And then he told me how to make tea the way he does.
What? So there's always an argument about, is it putting the milk in with the tea bag or after the tea bag or something like that?
Yeah, but he was focusing on the good because I put the tea bag in the tea and I would remove it. After 3 minutes, he would time it. So I would remove it like that. He would say, no. You will have to, before you do that, you have to get a spoon and give it a good
I know what he means. Yeah.
To get the more, more flavor.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And then
add the milk?
Add the milk.
I disagree with that.
You think you have to add the sugar first?
Well, I don't add sugar, but I'll add milk while the tea bag is in there.
I don't like it because I feel the tea bag would kind of absorb.
Good point.
Some of the milk.
Right.
You lose the milk.
Good point. Yeah.
Am I being too stingy?
I think both are okay. We're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Yes, but when you see videos of Americans making tea, does that drive you crazy?
I don't know. Do they drink tea?
I have seen many videos of Americans putting a tea in a glass of cold water.
Oh, that's
and
crazy.
Microwave the mug.
Oh no!
And
I
then
can't
when,
hear that.
Yeah, when the tea comes out and they put milk in there. So there's in one video, a girl did that for her British boyfriend. And when she served him, he was like, what the fuck is this? And then he just threw the mug away.
Smashed the glass.
Yeah, he smashed the glass. But I think it was staged. But
I think, yeah. I've never seen Americans drink tea. That's
they
honest.
don't.
Yeah.
They drink Pepsi or Coke.
Yeah, right. And obviously coffee.
Right, it's a very British thing.
The next thing I wanted to say was someone said, if you speak American English in the UK, will local people get like, would they react? Would they laugh? Would they tease you? Or
well, again, I think I'm not the best person to ask.
Right.
When I arrived in the UK, I pick up things very quickly. I realized that they use an accent. For example, they say, you can't do that. And when you hear that, you just copy that.
Right.
You can't do that.
Can't instead of can't.
Right. Can't. Especially when I went to the bank to open a bank account, these people would just say, you can't do that. And when I went to school, with university, we get told a lot, like, you can't do that. So very quickly, I start talking like that. So I think I fit in very quickly.
Yes.
But if you insist on speaking your American accent, I don't know. I really don't know how they would treat you.
Whenever I go back, my family will tease me because I do some American habits, like the a little bit.
Were you told to change your accent when you came to Taiwan?
Yeah, a little bit. I was at a by
your employer.
Yeah, they're like, don't say basketball, say basketball.
Were you offended?
A little bit, yeah. Especially if they question me if I'm wrong. Like we talked earlier, hygienic and hygienic.
Yeah, you don't remember how to say it in your language.
Right. I get confused, which is garage and garage. Sometimes they might question, and I would doubt myself. So you guys might experience that, but.
Yeah, I get told all the time my accent is wrong. And I feel very annoyed because some words I'm just very sure I'm not wrong. For example, zebra crossing. I'm very sure I'm not wrong because I heard it a million times. Pedophile, sorry. Pedophile. I heard
not because of
not because of you, okay?
Or hygienic.
The word pedophile appeared in my life when I was in the UK every single day because I'm sorry, what's wrong with your country?
Yeah, people use that as an insult quite a lot.
I think because of church.
The churches and
church people, and then I think there were scandals during the year I was there.
Yes.
A lot of stabbing. I learned 2 words from my
South
British...
London, represent.
Stabbing.
What's up, South London?
So I learned the word stabbing and pedophile from hearing news. And so when I came back to Taiwan, people told me it's pedophile. I was very shocked.
Yeah.
So I think over the past 20 years, being back to Taiwan, I realized that people still know very little about your country.
I think so. So would you say the best way to learn the accent is to be there and then just absorb it?
I don't think you have to physically be somewhere to learn the particular language. I think there's the internet, there's YouTube, there's plenty of resources online. You can easily create an environment for yourself.
Yes.
If I wanted to learn German, believe me or not, I can create a German-speaking environment very easily.
Right.
In the morning, I would turn on the radio, I hear German sounds, and at lunchtime, I would just listen to an episode of something in German. And
so would you say a big problem then is accountability?
Yes.
Like people get lazy?
And also, I think it can get too technical.
Yeah.
Because my major was TESOL, teaching English to speakers of other languages. So I think we get very serious about this.
Yes.
You have to focus on what you're learning. A lot of people say they listen to English radios, they watch YouTube, they watch Netflix.
Yeah, right.
But you are just treating English as a background noise.
Right.
Why don't you just listen to music?
Good points.
You have to focus, and the focus time should be short, like maybe 10 minutes. You deliberately sit there to listen to a clip of something.
Yep.
And if you wanted to, you should probably dictate, write down the words.
Right.
Even if you could only write down 3 words,
Right.
it's good for you. You should focus on your comprehension.
Yes.
You don't need to listen to English all day long.
Right, in the background.
In the background. When I do that, it's for fun.
Right.
I watch funny videos for fun. I would never tell people I watch videos to learn English.
Yes.
I don't. I never do that.
Yeah, me too with Mandarin. And like there's tons of foreigners here who can't speak Chinese.
Right.
Even though they're in the environment.
It's your mindset.
It's the mindset, yeah.
Yeah, you could meet couples from different countries. You live with this person for how many years now, and you don't speak a word of Vietnamese.
Right.
You don't speak a word of Hakka.
Right.
You don't speak a word of what. There are many foreign brides in this country.
Right.
These husbands will not speak a word of their language.
Yes. Yeah. It's
So, a very interesting question. When I arrived in Leeds, with our first assessment, non-assessment assignments, we got 6 topics to choose from. And the first 3-4 questions were just way too difficult for me, like evaluate all the ESL methodologies after the Second World War. I found these questions impossible to answer because I didn't go to university.
Right.
So I chose the last topic, which is, do you think English language teaching is another form of imperial?
Like imperialism?
Let me rephrase this, okay? I chose the last question, which is, do you think English teaching is another form of imperialism? And you are required to write 2,500 words.
Okay.
I wrote about it. I have
That's quite interesting.
very strong opinions about it.
That's interesting.
Do you think?
Imperialism. I would say, off the top of my head,
Yes.
I would say
You
no.
would think no, right?
I guess I'm biased.
Yeah, because you're biased. Because
people
you're
would come to me for classes
right.
instead
Because
of me
you're
pushing.
see, that's very philosophical, right?
Right.
You are the native speaker of the language,
Right.
and when you look at your own language being used as an international language,
Oh yeah.
which is a need, because
Right.
if I for example if I were to participate in the Olympic Games, for example, how do I communicate with the Russian athlete?
Right.
How do I communicate with a Japanese person?
Right.
We were all in the same room. We're all in the same team.
Right.
No, we wouldn't be in the same team, but you get what I mean. How do I talk to the German person? I will have to learn German for him. I will have to learn Japanese for her. It would be very difficult. So when it comes to a unified or a common language, there's a need.
Lingua franca.
Lingua franca, yes.
Lingua franca.
You need a common language to communicate. But
Right.
what gets to be the dominant language?
Yeah, right.
It depends on your
I guess history.
history, your power.
Right.
I learned to say power. From Boris Johnson.
Power, yes, power.
These politicians of the UK all have a very special accent because they all went to the same private university.
They did, the same school.
Right.
Yeah.
Which,
is it Eton?
Eton.
And what's the high school? Or is that the high school? There's 2.
Right.
It might be Eton and I guess Oxford or Cambridge.
Yes. So there was a power.
Power.
Yeah, they don't pronounce the diphthong.
Oh,
We
right.
would say power.
Power, yeah,
But
power.
these politicians would pronounce power
Power.
to make it like a schwa.
Interesting.
Power.
In South London, we say it a bit different as well.
I bet.
Power.
Yes, I bet.
Power.
Right.
Like
Power.
Or fire, we say fire.
Yes. I noticed that.
A little bit.
Is Jason
Jamaican.
Statham South London?
No, he has a Cockney accent similar to Adele. But most young people don't use that anymore. So I speak differently to my dad. So he would say, don't go outside, it's hot.
Oh,
It's
they
hot.
don't pronounce the H.
Yeah, and he says
He's in the house.
outside.
Outside.
But I would say, don't go outside.
Right.
It's hot. So kind of similar.
So you actually now pronounce the H.
We say the H now, and we say outside.
In Leeds, they also do this.
Interesting.
Leeds people don't pronounce the H.
Oh, wow.
It's the house.
House. Oh,
Where's your house?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
The house.
So I'm very familiar with regional accents.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I have a friend from Birmingham, but he's Chinese.
Okay.
He is Cantonese descendant. So when we met, he couldn't speak a word of Mandarin. He was learning.
Cool.
So we would, and I don't speak Cantonese, so we would have to communicate in English.
Okay.
And I noticed his accent, but I didn't know why until like we met other people. They would always be like, I'm from Birmingham, I'm not stupid.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Birmingham. So I realized that other British people would make fun of him a lot. Like every time he would say something, and they would always comment like, I'm from Birmingham.
Okay.
And of course I realized, okay, so he's always made fun of.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
People will tease. Nobody's safe. I wouldn't say it's a race thing, but like maybe accents, people will tease.
But again, I think this is, see, you mentioned something very important. A lot of Taiwanese people get hurt simply because they're told their accent is different, and they would immediately call it racism.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, even in the UK, where he's from makes him stand out if he goes to another place.
Yeah, like Liverpool, they would tease me because I say I can't.
Yeah.
They say, oh,
yes,
ooh, so
and
posh.
When I was in Leeds, if there was a person who would speak in an RP, after this person leaves, listen to what Leeds people would comment on his accent. They would just go on and on about it, like fucking Londoner. Oh my god! So don't take it personally. Don't always go that route. Don't take it personally. It's never about your race. It's sometimes simply because they just notice your accent.
Yes.
I always tell my students, don't let things bother you too much. Yes. Otherwise, the whole experience is going to be ruined.
That's a really good point. I like that.
Yeah, like you live here in Taipei. If somebody goes to you and says, I really don't understand your accent, you're so weird. You don't speak the English I know. You will probably be shocked.
I'll be shocked that they say weird.
Yeah, and then but then you wouldn't take it personally, thinking, all Taiwanese people are so racist.
Yeah, I wouldn't say racist. Yeah.
That's the difference between a strong person and a fragile person.
Right.
If you ask me, I think one of the questions you were to ask me is like, did you have any experience racism or something in the UK?
Yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, okay, I used to call my parents on the payphone outside the university, and they were like school kids. 屁孩, okay? Do you know 屁孩?
Yeah.
They would always come after school and then they would bang on the door.
Yeah.
Would you call that racism?
No one's safe.
Exactly, they're just 屁孩. But if one of them says, Chinese go home, guess what? I would still not think that's racism. Yes, that particular phrase is a racism phrase. But because of the age of...
good point.
You forgive them.
Good point, yeah.
Even if a 45-year-old person say that to me, I would still not be pissed off. It just shows their low IQ.
Yeah.
Their very
maybe drunk or...
No, they're just a bad person.
Bad person.
I would just think they're just a bad person. And I would not feel bad for being who I am. And you should do that too if you want to make the whole experience nice and pleasant.
Right. What about if people say, I've heard it and seen it, they say, 我爱你. People will shout that. Would you get offended if someone said that in the UK?
我爱你.
你好,我爱你.
Again, it's similar to catcalling.
Yes.
I think being a woman, we get harassed wherever we go.
Right.
Not just in Taiwan. in Taiwan, fortunately, I don't have big boobs. If I did, I believe, yeah. See, we have a lot in common, right? So if I did, I'm very sure I would be probably harassed quite a lot. Right. And I don't think it's just only in Taiwan or in the UK.
Right.
So if anybody says, ni hao, konnichiwa, I would just think they're just bored.
Yeah, and like you said, it's normally just kids.
Kids, or when I was in Leeds, there was a construction site across from my accommodation. And I was very shocked by the age of these construction workers. They are all very young.
Yes.
And very hot.
Oh, okay.
In Taiwan, only old people
would
be construction workers.
Right.
So I was in Leeds,
young guys.
And every morning I would open my curtain and I would see these young hot guys already working. I wish I had binoculars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and around lunchtime they would go get lunch, and I would sometimes pass by the pubs because it's very close. And then I would of course say something. Hey, young bird. They call us bird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Leeds. Do you call girls bird?
Bird?
So 20 years ago.
No, people would say that. It's not really my style though.
Right, it's
so
local.
I don't hang out with those guys.
Because he is actually a little bit academic.
Yeah, thank you. But I try not to hang out with those guys.
Yeah, and then what I'm saying is labor class people.
Right.
So they would just say, "Lát geezer, flok me, in the laugh," that kind of accent.
They'll whistle.
They whistle,
right.
And they would comment, "Hey, konnichiwa."
Oh my.
Yeah, they would just say things.
Would people honk the horn sometimes?
Not that. Usually verbal.
Okay.
If I were to sit in front of, for example, in Leeds, there were some pubs you can just drink while standing.
Yes.
And we would drink that, and then people would go like, "Hello, ni hao."
All right.
I would just think they're just pihai or.
Yeah. Trying to make their friends laugh.
Right, and then again, I would never think they would treat me like an Asian person.
No.
They would probably do that to a white girl too.
They did it to me. Not ni hao. They say ginger.
Yes.
Or Ed Sheeran.
I totally forgot he's ginger.
Yeah. So you're not alone. Different style though.
Yeah.
Ginger.
I was on the bus one time in Leeds, and there was a ginger person standing, on the bus.
Okay.
And there were two pihai behind me, and they're like ginger. I realized, so gingers are treated the same way.
Yeah.
Like Asians sometimes. But again, do you think that's racist?
No, it's not racist. No, if they were, it's just if you look different, people will joke around.
They joke around, you guys.
Yeah, anyone.
So please, if people treat you, say stupid shit like that to you, don't take it personally. But at work, if your boss or if your colleagues would do that to you, that's a different story.
Yes.
Because in a professional setting, you really shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
Then that would be considered inappropriate.
Definitely.
Or you might even break the law.
Yes.
To say to your employee, like, you go back to your fucking country. That's a different story.
Yes.
So if you experience that, you should report to authorities concerned.
Yes.
That would be racism.
Yeah, that's too far.
Yeah, but just like walking by the road, I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Recently, there's been a lot of phone snatching in London, especially. Did you ever encounter any crime?
No.
No? Oh, that's
because
good to hear.
Actually, last night I wrote about my experience. Before going to Leeds, I received a parcel from the University of Leeds.
Wow.
Including some booklets, brochures, and a DVD. I watched it, and one of the chapters in the DVD is called Safety.
Okay.
And people actually act out, like talking to people on the road. And we had Nokia 3310, and people still snatch their phones. So like they said, there's a huge crossing, don't do that. And then there was a girl in the video, like she was checking her bag on, arriving at the door.
Okay.
She was trying to open the door, and then there was a guy.
Right.
With a weapon saying, "Get in."
Yeah.
And then there's a huge cross saying, don't do that. And then there's another video of this person in the lift, a girl. And then somebody just forced, himself in the lift before the lift door was going to close. And then he attacked her or something.
Okay.
So I became very conscious about my safety before going to Leeds. I would never talk to people on the phone, like, hey, on the street, do this.
So,
yeah, but again, because in 2002, 2003, you don't get that kind of phone.
Right.
And I would never take a picture like that,
Right.
In public, everybody can see I'm a tourist. So I have always been very self-conscious. Right. And if I would go to a pub, and if a guy offers to buy me a drink, I would follow him.
Yeah.
To see my drink being, poured. And then if I would go to the toilet, I would bring it.
Take your drink.
I'll take my drink. Or if I forgot to take my drink, I will not touch it.
Yeah, watch out for that.
You need to do this.
Yeah, the drinks.
Doesn't matter where you are, really.
Yeah, right.
It's not a British thing. It's in the States, in Taiwan. If I went to Xinyi district, then I would not do it.
That's the thing that irritates me. Is I've posted about crime in the UK on on different apps, and people say, "Wow, the UK is so dangerous." But I'm like, isn't this common sense? Like everywhere, you go to Brazil or
I think
go to Germany,
and also, it's sometimes. I'm not saying it's the victim's fault, because sometimes people say don't blame the victim, but you have to understand when you move to a country which is new, you should probably get real. You should ask people where I should not go. For example, in Leeds, everybody knows you shouldn't go to Hyde Park.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I thought it's common sense. It doesn't matter what kind of occasions. I would just not go into Hyde Park alone.
Nighttime, yeah.
Sometimes, guy friends, we would go to have a picnic on the grass, right? During the day until it's dark. Then I would just leave with everybody.
Yes.
I will not be in the park by
Which
myself.
is like 6 p.m. in the winter.
In the winter, or even earlier in the north of England. No, 4. It gets dark.
Oh my God.
At 4.
Yeah.
So you should probably pay attention to your own safety.
Right. Yeah, it's common. It's kind of common sense.
I heard stories like people get their phones stolen, snatched, their bag get slit.
Yeah.
I'm sure it happens everywhere, but you just be careful. And then, funny enough, I've only got 2 experiences getting my purse pickpocketed.
Oh, okay.
Guess where I was?
Please say France. France, not England.
Songshan.
In Taipei?
Yes.
Oh my God.
夜市 and 士林夜市.
Oh my God, in Taiwan.
All my life, I've got pickpocketed twice in my own country.
Oh my God.
Not in France, because when I was in France, I would just, what's France like? I hugged my possessions.
Right here.
I would never take a picture in public.
Yes, yeah.
Because the moment you take out your phone, people just snatch it.
Yeah.
So why are you doing that anyway? And when I was in the UK, I had a very good experience with a Mexican grandmom.
Wow.
Who was my classmate.
Okay.
She was in her 50s. I was only 28, 29. And one time we went somewhere like the Peak District or the Lake District.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, because in Leeds, you go there.
Oh, yeah.
And me and the Chinese classmates, we were like, 照相, we were taking pictures.
Yes.
And after a while, we got quiet. And she asked me, why are you taking pictures? And I was like, oh, just show my friends. I want to record everything. And she said, why don't you appreciate things with your eyes?
I like that.
And I was very inspired.
Yeah.
These people, and then there was also another Black girl in my class who read a poem from Maya Angelou.
Okay.
These classmates gave me the most impressive, powerful lessons in life.
Yes, yeah.
The poem was called Phenomenal Woman.
Okay.
I still remember every word she said. And then it was also the first time I realized how Black people were treated in in foreign countries.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the experience studying abroad is to educate yourself about the world, right?
Yes.
Not to hang out with your own people, speaking Chinese, making dumplings all the time, playing mahjong.
Yeah.
I never did any of that.
I can hear it from your accent. You sound super local, super British, I mean. Even how you say world, it's
Really?
amazing. And brochure, you said the British one, brochure.
Brochure?
Instead of brochure.
I know, I'm I try to be
local.
consistent.
Yeah.
Because I would get annoyed if you were to speak Chinese. Sometimes it would be like, 什么东西啊? and then you would follow a sentence like, 你要不要吃什么?
Yeah.
If you're inconsistent,
it's weird.
It's to some people it might be annoying.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you notice that some of us don't pronounce Chinese very correctly? Like 你要吃什么?
Yeah.
吃东西。我今天很热。
Yeah.
你不会热吗？
很热。
Some people get very annoyed.
Right.
When young people or old people or anybody would not pronounce words correctly. Yeah. And then again, would you say it's accent? It's a very interesting discussion.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Can I say you don't understand my English? Because I have an accent.
Right.
When I actually pronounce words quite wrong.
Right.
I really like your test. I really, really like your test. Right. And you're like, what? I really like your test. You would say, do you mean taste? I say, yes, test.
Okay.
And then I would go, oh, I have an accent. Yeah, how do you respond?
Yeah, good question.
Is it accent or is it?
Like habits?
Yeah, because in our world, when you learn to teach English, I think you learn a lot of rules. Like you don't judge students, you don't correct them all the time, especially when you apply certain methodology.
Yes.
Like communicative approach. You literally just observe your students. You provide assistance, but you don't interrupt.
Yes.
Or task-based learning, you give them a task and they perform the task. You want the outcome. But when you hear very, very bad pronunciation, how often do you correct them?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you, and also it's a question
Rhetorical.
in ESL.
Yeah. I find with my best students, I will teach them to sound, like RP, and then we start learning the mistakes that natives make.
Oh.
Like I feel like that's the next level.
Oh, like an H.
Yeah. H. Herb.
H. Herb. Oh my God. I have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
Because when I pronounce herbal tea, my American friends say I'm very uneducated. I should be saying herbal tea. And I'm like, no, I learned my English in the UK. It's herbal tea. They're like, no, British people don't know shit. But I'm like,
Americans.
Yeah, so I think, and I'm corrected by Americans so many times. My spelling. Like one time I spelled jewelry. And this American person says, oh, there's a mistake, there's a typo in your document. And I was like, I understand. When I was in the UK, my Chinese classmates did that to me too, several times.
Oh, right.
For example, authentic.
Like fancy, genty.
No, like pronounce words, vocabulary.
Right. Oh, okay.
For example, I would say, 这个餐厅真的很道地.
道地, okay.
And they will always say, 地道.
And
I'm like, no, it's the first time I heard it in my life. I said, no, it's very 道地. They're like, no, it's 地道. After a few times, I actually got confused.
Yeah.
When I came back to Taiwan, I started to go like 道. 等一下是哪一个？道地吗？地道. Also, like when I say, 这个品质很好, they will always correct me. Always, like it's 品质.
Oh, okay.
It's called 品质，品质非常的好。品质很好。
很好。
Yeah. And then
车.
So when I became like you, I became self-awareness, self-conscious,
right,
about it.
Right.
And then after wow, a year in the UK, I became a little bit unsure about my own pronunciation in my own language.
Right.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, it is. But then I feel like that's when you master it. Like you're sure, oh, it's hygiene instead of hygienic.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. You get.
And I'm very sure, I'm very assertive about, for example, advertisement.
Right.
I'm very sure about things, laboratory, advertisement,
Good.
about things I say. I just no longer let other people bother me.
Yeah.
Because I want to be consistent.
Good. I can hear that. Thanks for doing the video today, May.
No problem.
And,
anytime.
If anyone wants to check out her course, what was the name of the course? Sorry?
在9:1这个平台上面，我们现在在推的课是雅思句型王。If you want to take the IELTS test, if you have very limited of time, if you have very little time, you need to buy our course.
You must.
Master these 66 sentences in task 1 and task 2. You're fine. You can get a 7.
In the description. In the description. And you guys can find her on Instagram.
Yes.
That's one of the best places.
Facebook.
Your school is in 台电大楼.
台电大楼3号出口.
Okay, all right. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks,
Thank
May.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.